Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment. I'm going to give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it. So let's get straight into this topic. So last night, as you know, the Lakers were able to beat the Phoenix Suns, who were the number 7 seed in the Western Conference, who are playing team essentially. So they were able to beat them pretty handily. I think they beat them 101 to 73. Yes. And in the game, LeBron played the best out of everybody. He had 28 points, 4 steals, 12 assists, 6 rebounds. So he played well. 62% shooting from the field, 100% shooting from the floor. No arguments there. Rui Hachimura chipped in 13. DeAndre Ayton again cannot get a double-double. I don't know what this guy's issue is. Jake LaRavia only had 2, but Luke Kennard really stepped up. And I knew Luke Kennard was a great player when he was playing for the Clippers. He's a guy that can shoot threes, but it can also handle the ball really well. So he finished the game with 19 points, 3 assists, 50% shooting from 3. Bronny James chipped in 3 points. Jared Vanderbilt chipped in 6 or whatever. So it was pretty much a team win, and it was a very good victory. Now, prior to this game, they did a segment on First Things First, where they were talking about this very Lakers team. And as you guys know, the Lakers had beaten who was the team that they beat? They beat the Golden State Warriors, right? They beat the Golden State Warriors. So after that win, of course, you know how the media swings. You know, well, can the Lakers do this without you know the whole story, right? Can the Lakers win the title now? Can they get out the first round? So this became a talking point on First Things First. So when Chris Broussard first attacked the topic, he basically gave the Lakers a 10 to 15% chance to get out of round 1. But then Nick Wright stepped in, and of course, in typical Nick Wright fashion, he started to do his usual twerking for LeBron James, and damn near got laughed off the set. But before we even get into what Nick Wright had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, PrizePicks. All right, guys, the playoff push is heating up. Tournament hoops are here. The Masters is underway, and the NBA playoffs are right around the corner. There's no better way to cash in if you're right on all of this action than PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pick app. So I jumped into their team picks feature, and honestly, I had no idea why I waited this long. First time I tried it, I was picking game winners on some of these games. Came out right on my first one, and watching the game just hit completely different after that. And here's what I love. On top of the players' picks you already know, you can now pick game winners, spreads, and totals. You can even call who wins the championship or takes home the MVP. Mix and match across basketball, baseball, hockey, golf, all in the same app. And if your picks get off to a hot start, you can cash out early before the game even ends. Now download the PrizePicks app today, pick your first game winner, spread, or total as the playoff push rolls on, and get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That's code CLNS to get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. All right, perfect. So what we want to do now is want to play what Nick Wright had to say to Chris Broussard, and then we'll come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Nick Wright's comments here.
I would give the Lakers, isn't a lot, but a 10 to 15% chance.
Well, that's something.
In winning that.
Yeah. So that's almost exactly where I'm at, bro. I think that a lot of our discussions have been if Luka comes back,
right.
Could Luka immediately then, win a series? This conversation is if they say Luka is out for round 1, do the Lakers have a chance? And my answer to a chance is yeah, because, and I'm focused on Houston.
Right.
Because it's the most likely matchup. Minnesota's locked into the 6. That is done now. So the Lakers would have to get to the 3. And I don't think they're not going to end up playing Denver in round 1, even though in theory the 3, 4, 5 could all change. But Denver's the least likely round 1 opponent. LeBron, when he is the unquestioned best player on his team, the last 2 years. So again, last year he's younger, and so I'm not saying
still old,
but he's still he was 40 and in year 22.
Yeah.
Last year in games where Anthony Davis and Luka didn't play, he just goes out there and cooks on offense. Now, and you saw it last night. His defense suffers. That is where LeBron, the age has shown up for LeBron more than any other aspect of his game other than just raw explosiveness. Yes, is he doesn't have the energy to do that on offense and be a even good, much less excellent defender. And for the Lakers, they don't have a lot of other, good defenders. But I'm kind of excited to see him try, to see to see what he can do. And I think the fact seeing Durant across the court, like he has some history of playing Kevin Durant in a playoff series where Durant's team's got way more talent. Right. He has, and now those series didn't go well for him, but he individually was excellent. And he seems, I don't know if resigned is the right word, but the question, we didn't include the question there. But the question was essentially, what is your role now with this team? And he said everything. And then he said the way it used to be. So it's a really unique spot of a guy who, KW, at different moments of his career, has had to do this for teams. We're like, this final year in Cleveland.
I don't ever remember him having to do, oh, you mean take over?
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying, I never remember him having to do what he did a month ago.
No, but I'm saying take over and have be
That's just been how he's played.
No, but I mean
career.
Where there have been different spots where he doesn't have another great player alongside him. So like 2018 in Cleveland, his final year in Cleveland, his first stint in Cleveland at various times, and the beginning of his time in LA, that's what his life was. And it's just going to be interesting to see how far he can pull it in the playoffs in year 23.
4 games is a lot. I want to believe it 1 or 2 games, but 4 games, I can't even give it 10%. If I do, that is such an indictment on Udoka if he can't
and
come
Durant,
up with a defensive scheme.
Well, here's the thing.
Doubling LeBron is not like a strategy. Like, he'd love it if you double. Like, even with bad teammates, like, it's never really been a strategy because he's such a willing passer.
The Rockets are averaging, I think, around 119 or something the last few weeks.
They're stop. That's what I'm saying. That the talent discrepancy is crazy. But look, the Lakers. If you're the Lakers, keep it close. Lakers are the best clutch team in the league. All right. Houston has not been great.
But is that still, you buy that stat on a Luka-less team?
No, I'm saying if you're the Lakers, your best chance is if you can keep these games close, and then in the last 2 minutes it's in the balance. I trust LeBron James more than I trust anybody else on the court. Include any of those guys from Houston, to get myself a good shot or somebody on the team a good shot.
I also think
I think the Lakers would sign up for that.
Again, they would be massive. They will be decided underdogs. I also do wonder for that Rockets team, particularly for Durant, to all of a sudden enter a series where you are, like, losing would be a catastrophe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, it will be, like you said, such an indictment on us. Like, for Durant in particular, because Durant and LeBron are friendly. I think they are actual friends. But that obviously has been a professional rivalry forever, for 15-some years. And all of a sudden, like, if 2 weeks ago, if Durant was looking at potential playoff matchups, it was, if we get the Lakers, if I pull this off with Luka playing the way he is, those guys it'll be, look at what KD did. I know there were expectations going into the year, but
getting out of the first round is like, you got
but it would have been
who they were playing.
But they would have been I think, a pretty big underdog against the Lakers.
Because of the way they have been playing
recently. But now all of a sudden,
Very interesting.
Right, it is. And I think the Lakers will have home court.
Yeah.
Like, the Lakers are probably going to be the 4 seed. So I don't know.
I think Durant has felt throughout their careers that when it's even, I can beat LeBron. He's had advantages over me with his teammates. So he can't lose this because he's got the clear advantage right now.
From McMenamin.
Great. So you heard what he had to say. Look, right now the Lakers have 1 game left to finish out the season against the Utah Jazz, and I'm going to assume that they're going to win that game. As things currently stand, the only team that's in jeopardy of really hurting the Lakers in terms of no, there's no team that's hurting them. The Lakers have secured the 4th seed. Why? Because Houston lost last night, and they're going to be playing the Memphis Grizzlies. But remember, I think the Lakers have the tiebreaker on Houston. So if they finish the season with the same record, the Lakers will get the higher seed because they have the season tiebreaker. So the Lakers are going to be the 4th seed, right? And they're going to be playing against the Houston Rockets. Now, do I think that the Lakers are going to be able to beat Houston in round 1? I don't think so. unless we witness an implosion from Houston. Now, granted, Houston doesn't have his point guard in Fred VanVleet, but the Lakers don't have Luka Doncic, nor do they have Austin Reeves. And I don't expect them to come back by round 1. And I think the playoffs start this next week, Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. So the Lakers are going to have to, I mean, for the Lakers to beat Houston, I think is going to be a tall order. But Nick Wright seems to think so. Nick Wright thinks that the Lakers could beat Houston in round 1. Also, if you notice how they kind of made this thing about, Kevin Durant, and, if KD doesn't make it work and this is catastrophic for his career and all of that, of course, you have to have those storylines, right? KD has everything to lose. LeBron has everything to gain. They've kind of put that in there. They have a storyline within a storyline, right? So it doesn't really work against LeBron. If he loses, well, they expected him to lose. If Kevin Durant loses, oh my God, this is the worst thing. So they've already kind of built in the storyline. They've already kind of built in the excuses, and it's already set in place. In terms of the Lakers beating the Rockets in round 1, I don't see that happening at all. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.